Let's go live now to Sydney, where the New South Wales Attorney-General Mark Speakman joins us live. Thanks so much for your time, Attorney-General. Is your leader going to survive this morning's party room?
Oh, absolutely. Look, this spill motion has been brought on by 3 MPs. We have 46 MPs from the Liberal Party in the New South Wales Parliament. Gladys Berejiklian has the overwhelming support of those party members. And that's because she is a Premier that led us to victory. And she's a Premier that is basically working extremely hard to deliver for the people of New South Wales. I think the vast majority of Liberal MPs realise that the electors don't want a circus. They don't want to see a repetition of what's happened in Canberra for many years. They don't want us to reflect the Labor Party here in New South Wales. We have had 3 leaders in 12 months, an ICAC crisis. They want us to just do the job properly, deliver schools, hospitals, roads, police, safe communities, strong communities, deal with mental health issues and so on, the bread and butter of state politics. That's what the overwhelming majority of Liberal Party MPs want to do, and that's where Gladys Berejiklian is leading us.
Mr Speakman, I have some breaking news through here to the newsroom. Ray Hadley is reporting and telling me that the spill might not even be called this morning, so it could be called off. It seems that those 3 MPs may have got cold feet. Do you welcome that news, but is the damage already done?
Well, look, if they are to call off this spill, I welcome that news, but this is a road bump. Overwhelmingly, the party is united behind Gladys because overwhelmingly we realise people don't want politicians talking about each other, self-absorbed. They want us delivering for the people of New South Wales, and that's what Gladys and her team have been working at night and day at doing.
You can't pull the doona over your head here, can you? Do you need to accept that Gladys Berejiklian has mishandled this debate, that there's a vast amount, not a rump, within your party and constituents that do want to see these amendments, these safeguards on abortion legislation?
Look, I personally voted against the bill and I'd like to see some amendments, but at the end of the day, it's a conscience vote. It's not a government bill. It doesn't come down to leadership, and the people of New South Wales and some within your party are looking for Gladys Berejiklian to assure that these safeguards are in place. Well, it's beyond the power of the Premier or the government to do that. This is a conscience vote.
Are you
it's
really
up to the
saying
conscience
that it is beyond the power of the leader of your party to make sure there isn't late-term abortions?
It is a conscience vote, and the Premier cannot direct MPs how to vote. I support some
reform. Could the government move
reform.
legislation?
But it's not government legislation. The tradition of the Liberal Party is that these sorts of matters are matters for conscience votes. Now, there are 3 MPs who are moving a spill motion because they don't agree with the bill. I don't agree with aspects of the bill either. But at the end of the day, it's up to individual MPs to exercise their conscience. The Premier cannot direct MPs how to exercise their conscience. The Premier did not bring on this bill. This is a bill of an independent MP. It was a conscience vote of Parliament, the lower house, to deal with that bill when it did. It's up to the upper house, individual MPs, to decide how to vote on this bill. It is not a government bill. It is beyond the power of the Premier to direct MPs how to vote. So if that's what these 3 MPs want, then they are misguided. I don't doubt their sincerity for one moment. I don't doubt their sincerity for one moment, wanting changes to the bill, but they are misguided if they think the Premier has, or any politician has, any power to direct anyone how to vote.
Her critics say that she allowed this bill to come on for debate. She could have stopped it from coming on for debate and then lost control of it.
No, it was the will of the lower house to have this bill come on for debate. I wanted it deferred, but I was in a minority. And the overwhelming vote of the lower house was to deal with the bill when it did. It is not a government bill. It is not the Premier's bill. It's an individual conscience vote. And there is nothing the Premier can do to direct MPs how to vote on this bill. And this is the basic misconception of this spill motion.
OK, that's fair enough. OK, outside of the conscience vote, can I ask you, as the Attorney-General, could you move, as you say, you have concerns about this legislation outside of this conscience vote, if it does pass the lower and upper house, it's passed the lower house, if it passes the upper house with those amendments that are not suitable to you, because you, as the Attorney-General, as a party, could you then decide separately to move legislation to ensure those safeguards?
Well, I think that's going round in circles. I, as Attorney General, won't
really.
be moving legislation. No, can I finish? Can I finish?
Doesn't it come back to you're in power, you're in government in New South Wales. There's a conscience bill on the table. If you're not happy with some of the safeguards or lack of there, are you really saying as a government you're impotent to do anything about it?
Well, it's up to individual MPs to move amendments, and that's what I did in the lower house, and that's what a number of other MPs did in the lower house. That's what MPs can do in the upper house, and there are apparently 10, 20, maybe 30 amendments that are going to be moved to this bill. But it is not a government bill. It's not a matter for me as Attorney General to move or try to move government amendments, because it is fundamentally the sort of issue on which people will have deeply held views in good conscience, and on which individual MPs have to exercise their conscience. It's in the same category as issues like euthanasia. You don't have government positions on those. We had a euthanasia bill come before the upper house a year or two ago. We've had another abortion bill come before the upper house a year or two ago. We've had so-called safe access zones around abortion clinics dealt with on a conscience vote. This is no different. This is no different. This is a conscience vote that's being handled in exactly the same way as those other votes were handled.
So what are you saying is behind this spill and this damage to the Premier? Is it perhaps just a proxy issue, people just trying to get rid of a Premier they don't like?
Well, look, I think it's misconceived. I don't doubt the sincerity of the MP's views on abortion. The party has a wide range of views on abortion. But at the end of the day, it is not a matter for the Premier. The Premier is a strong leader. She has been part of a government that is turning New South Wales around from the state that had the weakest economic growth in the country, the highest unemployment in the country, to the lowest unemployment, the strongest economy, no net debt, double the infrastructure spend, which puts us in a great position in this term of government to deliver fantastic social outcomes. So this is a government that is the strongest government New South Wales has seen, and we want to get on with the job. But on an issue like abortion, it's fundamentally a conscience vote. It's up to individual MPs. It's not a Gladys bill. It's not a Mark Speakman bill or Mark Speakman led government amendments. It's a conscience vote, and this is being handled no differently from every other conscience vote that's come before Parliament.
Mr Speakman, it is different this time around, because if this spill motion is moved in party room, it's my understanding, and is it correct, that these three MPs would need to resign from the party and therefore sit on the crossbench, and then your majority in Parliament is another difficult one to handle?
Well, they don't have to resign from the party. Yeah, they were elected as Liberal MPs. People voted for them in good faith as Liberal MPs, and I expect them to keep faith with the electorate and remain strong and loyal Liberal MPs.
They've done so much damage to the Premier, though. How can you have them sitting behind you? Is there a trust issue?
Look, this is a road bump. An issue like abortion is going to attract strong and polarised views. And when the bill is dealt with one way or another in the coming days, then we will get on with delivering for the people of New South Wales, delivering what we're elected to do, which is better infrastructure, stronger services, safer communities.
And all happy families going from here.
I beg your pardon?
And it's happy families going on from here.
Look, if you've got any group of human beings that is as large as the Parliamentary Liberal Party will have differences of views from time to time. But we were all elected to serve the people of New South Wales, and that's what the overwhelming, and I think at the end of the day, all Liberal MPs want to do. Is
there a bit of career advancement in this move by these three Rebel MPs? I mean, I'd heard of Tanya Davies, but I hadn't heard of the other two.
Well, look, you'd have to ask them that. They say it's because they're upset about the abortion bill, and as I've said, I understand the sincerity of their views on abortion, but to bring on a spill like this is misconceived, because it's not a government position, and there is nothing the Premier can do to direct MPs how to vote on a conscience vote.